Thank you all for coming. I don't really have a toast. I guess I just want to talk a little bit. I obviously have two sons that are a little unique. I wish I had been a little bit better parent to Glenn. You tend to think that all of your children are like you. And I'm an early morning riser. I get up early. I wake up, I get up at 5 o'clock every day. When both of the boys were young, Pete would fall asleep like his head would be heading towards the pillow and he'd be going to sleep. And he'd wake up in the morning like me, you know, like I expected kids to be, just like me, you know. And Glenn, we put him to bed. As an infant, 2 years old, put him to bed, quiet room. 40 minutes later, we'd hear thumping. Peek in the door. In a quiet, dark room, he's awake, with his feet up, thumping, kicking the wall. But in the morning, he could not get up. Now that was as a baby, as an infant, and it didn't get better. And he got up into high school, and we had these epic battles. Glenn, get up! I knew things were over the top when, before church on Sunday mornings, it was the GD, get up! I'm blaspheming to try and get him to wake up. I realized I was starting every day yelling at him. I was feeling terrible, and I couldn't have been doing him any good. And I was up one morning, standing, and I'd get up and get my cup of coffee and toast, and getting ready to start yelling at him again, to get up, to make it to school on time. And I looked at him. How could I be yelling at this beautiful boy that I love so much? So instead I sat down on the bed, and I took my toast and I just put it on his lips. And his eyes fluttered a little bit. Hi, Dad. And I held it far enough away that he had to reach out to get it. And so finally, after 17 years of stupidity, I learned that my son is different from me. And he's not going to wake up with yelling and screaming, but I could start out the day, every day, and enjoy him. And put a little jam on his lips. And he'd smile and he'd wake up. And he had a better day, and I had a much better day. And then there were two things many years later. I mean, we moved him out to California at 17 by himself. And eventually he was out there by himself, and he needed a hernia operation. And he's in the hospital, and when he came out of the surgery and came out of anesthesia, he woke up and he said he remembered waking up in the mornings with jam on his lips, and he said, oh man, I didn't know how good I had it. And then I knew later on that this marriage was going to be a success because Maxine was out visiting, and he told me that Glenn went and Julie was in bed, and he went to wake her up. And he put a little jam on her lips to wake her up. So that's my boy. It took me way too long to learn how to wake him up and to love him like he needs to be loved. And just less than that time that he's with Julie, he knows how to wake her up and how to treat her with love.
That's right. Yes.
So Glenn, I love you, and I love Julie, and I'm just so happy to have a new member of our family. Thank you. Don't take that long. Learn those lessons. Love your children.
Aww.